Hey YouTube, it's Rich Ryder again. We've been getting some spring rains this year, and inevitably I will end up getting some rot on some of the window sills. I have wood windows in my house and they're not vinyl. So I'm always having to do more maintenance on that house because of that. And so I was looking at the dormers, and they are starting to rot. So if you have wood windows and you're like me and you need to work on some, you can replace the window sill and keep the window in place if your windows are still in decent shape. So we're going to go ahead and tackle replacing a wood window sill. Now that we're up here, and we can get a little closer look at the windowsill, you'll notice that there's starting to get some damage in here, or it's rotten and water starting to penetrate through this piece right here. Now this sill nose can just be replaced, and if the main part of the sill isn't still in good shape, which this one it still is, you can simply just remove this front nose, because it uses a tongue and groove to mate to this main sill. So you can just repair it with another piece of wood. You can also buy vinyl versions of these windowsill pieces, and they are two pieces as well. Unfortunately, if you're using vinyl, you have to use the vinyl mainsill and the vinyl nose piece as well, because they are not interchangeable. So I am going to be replacing all of it, and I'm going to be replacing these boards, these side boards as well, because they're starting to rot, and I'm replacing those with vinyl as well. The first thing that we're going to need to do is pull the nails out of here to remove this piece, and then also we're going to have to cut here with either a multi-tool or some sort of a sawzall to cut the nails. And there's probably going to be some nails up underneath here for this piece to attach to the side part of the window. So you're going to have to detach that as well, so that it will slide out. So here's what I'm talking about as far as the tongue and groove. You can see that these have grooves in here, and that's what attaches to the main part of the sill. So you can just replace this nose if that's the only part that's bad. But mine was starting to get rotten here, and it's not bad, but I'm just going to change it to the vinyl, just because I know that it will last longer. So the reason why I cut it in half, I cut it in two sections, that way I can take each piece out, and then it's just going to be a lot easier than trying to slide the whole thing out. And I'm not reusing it, so I don't really care. So So now we need to take some measurements and cut the new piece of sill. I got about 29 and 3/16 is what I got here. So you want to go ahead and transfer the measurements that I made upstairs to the new board. And that was 29 and 3/16, so we're going to make a mark right there. So now that we got the main windowsill in place, now I need to do the sill nose. And so what I'm going to do to figure out the dimensions that it needs to be is just use the old piece of wood to make a measurement, and then cut the new piece to the same size. Alright, so let's go ahead and test fit this. See how it fits up here. Except this piece is in the way, so I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to go ahead and nail this, put some roofing weatherproofer behind here, and then put some roofing nails here to kind of get it up against there so that it's out of the way, and then we can probably get it fit a little nicer. So since I pulled the sill completely out before the last time I go ahead and install it for the final time, I wanted to go ahead and put some flashing tape on here, so that way it's protected and the framing doesn't continue to rot, because I've seen there's a little bit of it started to deteriorate. I mean, it's still strong, and it's just a little bit stained from getting wet. But I want to go ahead and have some flashing put on it so that we don't have this problem again. I don't want it to hang down too low, because I don't want it to be seen from the front of the house. So I just want to be able to cover up these nail holes just so that it's protected. And most people aren't going to notice that, because the lip is going to be here and you're not really going to be able to see it. So, but I want to be able to cover that up so that it's kind of protected. And if any water should get in here, it will roll out and go over top of this flashing. I'm also marking the center of the nose so I can meet the two marks up. So before I install it, I'm going to put a little bead of caulk in here so that it will seal up once it dries. So it's not going to be beautiful, but it'll work. Okay, so I'm using some galvanized finishing nails. They're 3-inch finishing nails. They're 8-penny nails that I'm using here. So the next thing I need to do is to actually cut these side boards on both sides here. So I have the length because I'm just going to use the existing boards as a template to make my new cuts. I measured the long side where this is an angle, and this is 54 and 15/16. So because there's a 15-degree angle cut here, so I'm going to transfer that 54 and 15/16 number to this board. Okay. And now I can flip this one over because I got it the right angle here, and I can just cut this straight. So I'm going to be attaching here, and I'm also going to be attaching nails here. The first thing I'm going to do is once I get it up here, I'm going to use the just the brad nailer to kind of staple these in, just to keep it so it doesn't fall down, and then I'll get some nails to actually put it up. This is one of those times where it's good to be it's nice to be right-handed, but I'm a lefty, so it makes it tougher. Or you got to be able to hammer with your right hand. So now I just need to caulk and paint it. So I highly recommend using something like a hybrid for exterior caulking needs, because it lasts longer and it is a little bit more flexible for expansion and contraction. I think that looks good. Alright, so I think I'll just let this caulk set up, and then I'll prime it and paint it tomorrow. Alright?